Good morning and welcome to StudyIQ. I hope you are doing good, my dear friends. I am Prashant Mawani. Today is 15th December, Saturday today. Let's have a positive start. Smile in the mirror. Do that every morning and you will start to see a big difference in your life. Give it a go. It's not a motivational statement or a quote. It is a very scientific quote. If you give it a go, if you try this thing, you will see a big difference in your day as well as in your life with this. Today is Saturday. We have 4 articles to go through. From the name itself, we can understand this farming in a warming world. So it's about farming, it's about global warming. We are going to talk about many interesting things. I have few add-ons for you guys as well. I have one viewpoint from President of our country, which we will add on to this article. Then we have this one. The warning signs are loud and clear, written by M.K. Narayan, who has worked in this field. He was NSA. So the things that he is discussing here, these things are very important. This one, negative signals, it's about food deflation. And this one is end Sri Lanka's crisis. From the name itself, we can understand it is political crisis, that are going on in Sri Lanka. Now, before we start our discussion on this farming in a warming world, I would like to introduce all of you to our pen drive and tablet courses. They are designed by best faculties of our country. They are available for various different competitive exams. You can check out the demo lectures on studyiq.com. All information regarding our pen drive and tablet courses is of course available on studyiq.com. In case if you have any question or queries, you can feel free and give us a call on the numbers that you can see on your screen. Now, farming in a warming world, it's about the change that we are going through, and I'm sure we all are aware about this thing as well, that directly, indirectly, we see this negative impact of climate change on our life. So that's taking a toll on our social, political, everything that we are doing, right? Economical life as well. And recently, this latest 6th assessment report is out, and this report is brought by Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, IPCC. I have a small question for you guys. Very tiny question, yes and no type of question. IPCC, has it anything to do with United Nations? Yes or no? Is it part of this big umbrella, United Nations, or no? That's your question, right? A very easy to answer question. I'm sure it's not going to be that difficult. Stick your answer in the comment section right now. Now, enhance capacity and stick to Paris Agreement. These are the two things that we find in this IPCC's 6th assessment report. Under Paris Agreement, every country, like India as well, we have promised, we have accepted, or we have presented some NDCs, that is nationally determined contribution. So good thing about Paris Agreement is that it gives you this choice that you can decide what you want to do. You can decide, you can go through your own capacity, and then you will come out with some figures. You will say that yes, I promise this much, and then you have to try to achieve that thing. That's what Paris Agreement is all about. So one of our NDCs, like nationally determined contribution, is that by 2030, we will make sure that whatever carbon emission that is taking place in our country, based on 2005's level, right? So say, for example, in 2005, we used to emit 100 kilogram of carbon. I'm just giving you a hypothetical figure for your understanding. So by 2030, we will make sure that it is down to 33 to 35% reduction. That's what we will try, right, to by 2030. That's what one of our NDC is. So we will stick to it. We'll do everything that we can, and we'll try our level best to make sure that we deliver on this thing. So that's what NDCs is all about. And various different countries, they have various different targets that they are trying to achieve. So we have to stick to Paris Agreement, and the other thing is we have to enhance our capacity to mitigate this climate change. We have to make sure that we are using latest technologies that are helping us in reducing this global warming, because at present it is said that average global temperature is 1 degree Celsius warmer than it used to be back in 1750s, or during this pre-industrial era, whatever the temperature was at that point of time. At present, it is 1 degree Celsius higher. We are talking about average global temperature, and you can see that just 1 degree Celsius addition has has created havoc, right, in flora and fauna in our ecosystem. And as per this sixth assessment report, it is projected that this average global temperature is going to be 1.5 degrees Celsius in near future. And if we don't stop this rise in average global temperature, if we don't stop it, if we don't keep it below 2 degrees Celsius, then that's going to create a catastrophe for us. Once we cross this 2 degrees Celsius, then 2 degrees Celsius basically is a tipping point. Tipping point is a place from, when once you are here to tipping point, things will blast from there, and there is no, you can say, written ticket once we cross this 2 degrees Celsius. Recently, I was reading an article and I found this thing as well, that this window of opportunity that we have is just for next 10 to 15 years. Once this window of opportunity is closed, then that's it. Then there is nothing we can do. At present as well, things are in our hand, right? If we take proper actions, then yes, we can stop this rise in temperature. But once this 10-15 years are gone, and once we have crossed this 2 degrees Celsius, then things are going to be very, very bad. And there are so many reports out there. As per this reports, even if we achieve our NDCs, not just India's NDCs, I'm talking about global NDCs, then as well, by 2100 or by the turn of this century, global average temperature will be somewhere around 3 degrees Celsius to 4 degrees Celsius. Right, so that's again a matter of concern. Now, whatever things are going on at present, we can see you got negative impact of this 1 degree Celsius on our day-to-day lives. And the most vulnerable people are those who are in primary sector. So we are talking about our rural population, because huge amount of our rural population is engaged with the primary sector, particularly farming, and that's what this article is all about. Indigenous populations, communities dependent on agricultural or coastal livelihoods, right? All this population, if you are in animal husbandry, everyone is going to get affected, or they are most vulnerable, because if you go through their life, then you find that they are already going through so many various different problems, like illiteracy is there, lack of proper facilities, right? And still we can say that they are living in 19th century, or still in the early 20th century, not in 21st century. If we go to various different pockets of our country, then we find this scenario. India, if we talk about our geography, then India is one of the most diverse country, and you find this diversity in agroclimatic settings as well. And this makes our country one of the most vulnerable countries in the world. As per this IPCC report, India is one of the most vulnerable country when it comes to this impact of climate change. Look at our irrigation facility, right? Even today, some 45% of our agricultural land has got irrigation facilities. So maximum portion of our agricultural land is directly, you can say, dependent on monsoon. If we look at our farmers, we have various different categories like marginal, small, medium and large farmers. So 85% of our farmers are in this category. Small and marginal farmers are here. So when your piece of land is so small, so you cannot afford all those latest technologies, and then you don't have irrigation facilities. So you are totally, relying on nature. You are totally relying on environment. And if something is not right over there, then that will impact you. And we have a big chunk of population is living on this, you can say, in a very risky area. If we talk about our rainfall pattern, then last 4 years are declared as, we have got less rainfall. We saw 2 drought years as well in last 4 years. And this year, we have this rainfall deficiency of 9%. Heat waves are increasing, the severity as well as frequency is increasing, the duration is increasing as well. And when you have this severe heat wave situation in the country, then those people who are working outdoor, right, laborers, they cannot continue their work. They have to take a day off, and this impacts their income as well. Economic Survey 2017, if we go through it, then we find that estimated farm income losses between 15 to 18% on average. which could rise to 25 to 25% for unirrigated areas without any policy interventions. So what we need is we need proper micro as well as macro planning. When we talk about macro level planning, I'm talking about national level, state level planning. If we talk about, let's imagine that we have this pyramid here. So here are your farmers and these are your decision makers. So at macro level, we have to make sure that, see, the problem is we have schemes, we have understanding, we have awareness when we talk about this top level. But what is missing is its implementation. Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana. Even today, this is a new name, but we find this sort of names, different names under different governments. And this thing has been going on since our independence. But still, even today, more than 50% of our agricultural land is unirrigated. Now, the other thing is, it's not just about building big dams. Right now, we have to merge this micro as well as macro level planning. So the place where you can supply water, you can do that. But at the same time, we have to make sure that we are not wasting water. Right? We have to be very, very judicious when it comes to water usage, because 70% of our soft water usage is for agriculture production. So this is again unsustainable. Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana crop insurance scheme as per NSS 70th round. Even today, a big chunk of our rural population, they don't know anything about crop insurance. So we need awareness campaigns here. Soil health card, Paramparagat Krishi Vikas Yojana. That is traditional or organic farming, and organic farming is quite helpful here because see, organic, when we say traditional or paramparagat, we are not just saying that stop using all these latest tools. What we are saying, or what this scheme is trying to do, is trying to take out all those bad chemicals. It is about nurturing and looking after your soil and your natural resources at the same time, using all those eco-friendly technologies. And President of India was present in a particular conference, and over there he said something very interesting, and I have got that thing for you guys. It's not mentioned in this article, but it's a very important thing. I'm sure you will appreciate this thing, what President said. He said that we need, earlier on, our farming was pure, you can say. It was having very limited touch of technology, right? Then we got, when I say technology, I mean to say some tools, manufacturing tools, right? Then we got this merger, or you can say partnership between our primary sector, our farming and manufacturing. So we saw tractors and other tools and other things. What we need now, we need this triangle. We need this golden triangle where we have our agriculture or our farm, and it is supported by manufacturing or new products and services as well. And this is the most interesting bit. When we say services, we are talking about nanotechnology, we are talking about biotechnology, we are talking about agro advisors, we are talking about data sharing and big analytics and drones, satellites, and so artificial intelligence, I would say, right? We need all these things for our farming, and if we can create this triangle, then we can change the situation of our farmers, of course. And there are also exclusive climate and adaptation schemes. At present, they are operationalized as well. I have got a few names as well for you guys. So here we are. NICRA stands for National Innovations on Climate Resilient Agriculture, National Mission for Sustainable Agriculture, National Adaptation Fund, and then we have state level State Action Plan on Climate Change. So all these 4 schemes, and there are a few others as well they are working on. You can say mitigating as well as protecting our farmers from this negative impact of climate change. But still, we need to do more. I'm sure we have talked about many things about farming today. I have added many things as well for you guys. So here you are, right? Remember, I think this is the most important part, right? To try to understand this golden triangle that we have talked about. Now, the warning signs are loud and clear. Jammu and Kashmir Assembly was in a state of suspension from last 5 months, and recently it got dissolved as well. 2 parties, BJP and PDP, they have, I would say, you can say very opposite ideologies, and we saw a marriage between these 2 extremes in 2014 because the verdict was a bit fractured. So they decided that they will go ahead with a partnership, and in 2018 this thing, we saw a divorce between these two parties. And then when PDP was trying to form a government with the help of NCP at that point of time, finally the governor has dissolved this assembly, and at present we have governor's rule. We don't have that presidential rule over there because it's Jammu and Kashmir. So we have this governor's rule. So indirectly you can say it's a central government's rule or presidential rule. It's same, right? It's just the name is a little bit different. So the state of the state, that means the state of the Jammu and Kashmir state, right, it is into its worst ever cycle of violence and confusion, right? From volatility, it is drifting towards anarchy. And there are reports out there. If we go through the figures, the number of things going on in Jammu and Kashmir, it looks like, in the starting phase of insurgency in Jammu and Kashmir, that was in 80s, particularly late 80s. At that point of time, we witnessed, or it is registered, that we saw highest levels of violence at that point of time. And at present, the figures are matching. So it looks like we are in this 1989. That is, you can say, a record year of violence and insurgency in Jammu and Kashmir. So things are very bad, and now people as well, they are losing faith, it looks like, because the latest local body election that took place, right, the turnout was very low. And this indicates a divide between administration and the people of this state. We saw in 2018, you can say, aggressive demand for revoking or getting rid of Article 35. Article 35 is associated with this property right, that when it comes to J&K, only citizens, or I would say those people who are who have lived there, their parents, and so people of Jammu and Kashmir, they only have the right to buy property in Jammu and Kashmir. If you are not from J&K, and if you are from other state of our country, then you cannot buy property over there. So there was a demand in various different parts of our country, and there were few political parties, they were asking for this thing, that we need to get rid of this Article 35. So this is a direct threat for, because if you are from Jammu and Kashmir and if you are a small businessman over there, then you will take it as a direct threat on your business and your income. So this demand was not taken very well, I would say, and that's what we are seeing now. People are, this is one of the reasons why there was a very low turnout in this local body election. Now militants, they have started, their new tactic is that they are targeting families of policemen. In nearly 50 policemen have died in recent past. And when your uniform personnel, when they have been killed by this militants, so that's again an indication that they are getting stronger and stronger. And particularly after this Burhan Wani's murder, or this Burhan Wani's, when he was killed by our security forces mid 2016, we have seen a drastic change. We have seen that a sort of revolution is taking place, and N.K. Narayan is saying that it can take a shape of Arab Spring. Arab Spring was a big thing. Remember that revolution that took place? It started in Tunisia, and it took with it this whole, or you can say, major part of Arab world. So ISIS, you have other Al-Qaeda, there are other various different this terrorist organizations, and they have penetrated, their agents have penetrated in our society, and what they are trying to do is they are trying to attract our youngsters. They're making them a bit more aggressive. The thing is, educated Kashmiris, and this is not me saying, right, this thing is something that is that we find in various different reports and articles and security reports. If you go through the statements of this DG of Jammu and Kashmir, we find this thing. I still remember in 2016, it was said in 2016-17, the government of India used to say that by late 2018 and by 2019, this Jammu and Kashmir will be free from insurgency. But at present, it looks like it's It's going to take ages for us to get rid of insurgency, because educated Kashmiri youth, right, their engineers and other graduates are signing up for this sort of activities. I'm not saying all, but there are a few, they are joining. And when someone young is going there, so this indicates that this militants, this insurgents, these troublemakers, they have created a culture. They are attracting youngsters, right? They are working as magnet. And here M. K. Narayan has used this word called black hole, which generally attracts everything in space. So that's what we find here in Jammu and Kashmir, that it's like a black hole. These militants are attracting youngsters. Operation All Out was a bit aggressive approach, and this has not worked. It has not created that much result. In fact, it has worked against us, because we see more violence in this state of Jammu and Kashmir. So what we need is intelligence agencies. They have to follow. We don't know, right? There is a sort of situation of confusion. We are not clear what to do. So we need more data. We need more information, and based on this information, we can at least project. We can plan ahead. So that's everything in this article. Now we will go through this negative signals. It's about deflation. Now, fall in inflation or low price of food is something that will bring a big smile on urban customers, because they have to spend less. And but this will not create any sort of good situation for rural people, particularly our farmers, because what happens here, we have so many of this middleman. We have this APMC, that is Agriculture Produce Market Committee. So these are the traders. They will buy things from our farmers. Our farmers, they don't have any option. They have to sell items to this APMC people, because we have this APMC Act. And the other thing is, our farmers, they don't have storage and other facilities. So when your wheat is ready, right, you don't have any option. You have to sell it in the market. And same thing goes for your other farmer. So every farmer will be out there in the market. So all of a sudden there will be excessive supply. So this middleman, right, these traders, they will take advantage of this thing, and that's what they have been doing. So price going down, it's going to be a good thing for urban India, but for rural India, it's not going to create. In fact, it is going to be a bit negative for farmers, because then now this APMC people will give a bit less share, right? Whatever profit they are making, a farmer getting 1 rupee, they are getting 5 rupees. So now they will ask farmer to just take 0.75 or 75 paisa rather than full 1 rupee, and they will make sure that their 5 rupee or whatever loss they are facing because of this excess supply is mitigated. So the final, you can say, the party that is going to lose in this deal is going to be our rural people, or farmers, to be more precise. So deflation is good, but then as well, too much of deflation is also not good, because that means that you will not get what you should get. So that's the thing. And one more thing, that these farmers, right, they are going through a bit of bad phase, and election is just around the corner. So every political party is trying to promise them that they will get a loan waiver, but loan waiver is not a sort of long-term solution. It's a short-term measure, and in fact it creates a very bad credit culture as well. So the thing that we have talked about, this triangle, golden triangle, where you have your agriculture, you have a support of manufacturing, as well as technology or service sector. When you have this, this backup for our agriculture, when our farming will be supported by this latest technology and latest products, then we can change the situation of our farmer, or else things are going to be as it is. It has been, been 70 years ago when we got independence, or more than that, when we got independence. At that point of time as well, irrigation was a big problem. At that point of time as well, this rural distress was there, poverty was there, and still we are at the same stage. So that's a bit sad. Situation in Sri Lanka, again, we have we can draw a triangle with this thing as well, because you have Wickramasinghe on one side, and then you have Sirisena and Rajapakse on the other side. So he is president. He tried to get rid of this prime minister and he tried to replace him with Rajapaksa, but Rajapaksa lost confidence vote. He lost in Supreme Court as well. So now it looks that things are going to be or heading in right direction, because Mahinda Rajapaksa has decided that he is going to resign as Prime Minister. So Wickramasinghe will be back. But still, trouble is not over. Still, we can at least say that we are heading in a right direction as far as Sri Lanka is concerned. Now, big news, good news for Government of India, that Supreme Court has rejected this PIL, pleas for Rafale deal probe. So that's a good news for Government of India, but we have to be very careful. We don't want to see this sort of situation in every big deal, because this will demotivate other companies, or it will frighten these foreign countries as well as foreign companies in dealing with us when it comes to defense or defense products. Gehlot to be Rajasthan CM. Then we have Ranbir Penal Code. It's like IPC Indian Penal Code. It's Ranbir Penal Code is in Jammu and Kashmir. So Jammu and Kashmir has become the first state in the country to bring a law to prevent people in power from exploiting subordinates sexually, and give funds for Titli victims urgently, has been said by Chief Minister of Odisha. He has said that the state has not received anything from centre yet. High Court cautious centre's ban on oxytocin. Oxytocin is a very important item for drug manufacturing, and it helps those mothers, particularly after this delivery, when they have this excessive bleeding. So oxytocin is a lifesaver, and it was banned by the central government. Central government said that only this government companies can produce this oxytocin and not private firms. So this thing has been it's been rejected by Delhi High Court. So that's a big news for mothers. And Navy ship seizes arms from fishing vessel. So INS Sunanya in Gulf of Aden has it's there for anti-piracy operation. So it has done its job. Financial news. India Post launches e-com portal. So that's a big news for our rural artisans as well as SHGs and handicraft people. For them, it's a big news, because this will provide them an online platform. They can sell their items, so they can directly earn money from it as well. They don't have to rely on other companies. So let's see how it works, right? But if it succeeds, then that's going to be a good thing. And here you have this survey done on plastic, like what people think about. Like 42% think that this plastic will impact their health. Most of them think that it is the environment that will get affected. There are people out there, they are demanding that we should replace plastic bottles with glass bottles, but glass bottles require more energy to transport. So that's again a bit of challenge. And of course we have talked about this thing. Now here are your vocabs on your screen. And dear friends, today's questions, today's map based question, your yesterday's answer, your MCQ, and your answer of MCQ's answer, I will deliver it to you tomorrow. On Sundays we don't take questions and answers, but today, Saturday's questions and things will be given to you in tomorrow's lecture. And tomorrow I will tomorrow is Sunday, so time will be a little bit later on, maybe 12:30 or maybe 1, not sure yet, but it won't be this early. I will try my level best, right? But tomorrow is Sunday, so we will talk about a special topic. I have got a very special topic for you guys, interesting topic for you guys. So you can download the PDF of today's lecture from my FB page and Twitter handle. Please make sure you share this lecture with other students. Don't forget to hit the like button, and that's it. See you tomorrow. Enjoy your day. Jai Hind.